Buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there. Check it out right now. CALUV.com.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Fabulous.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
8:06. Now the time on this Sunday morning, Sunday Fun Day, as we like to call it here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. If this is your first time tuning in, you have arrived. It is California's place to talk about current trends in food, beverages, travel, and tourism. As always, we keep it healthy and sustainable. Broadcasting live, which you don't hear a lot on the weekends. A lot of those shows are pre-recorded. Not this one. We are live from our studios on California's beautiful Central Coast. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by Patty Pyburn.
Good morning.
A very good day to you, Patty. So straight ahead on this hour of the program, snacking at holiday parties without busting the scale.
Is that possible?
How do you do it? Well, we are going to speak with a registered dietitian for tips and a California specialty. You know how California has those products where 95% of the whatever it might be is grown in California? Mm-hmm. Well, this is one of those. And it'll help you do it. It'll help you stay on track. Also, have you jumped on the Meatless Monday movement? I keep forgetting about it. I remember it on Tuesday. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It was.
Then do you need to enact that on Tuesdays?
Well, as you saw, the LA City
Fish
Council.
Taco Tuesday.
Right. The LA City Council unanimously passed a suggestion for LA residents to go meatless on Monday. And we'll talk about it's the largest city to do that.
Right.
And I mean, that's a
big city.
A big push to endorse this program. We'll speak with the organization's main spokesperson about the program's growing popularity. Then Patty and I share our favorite Thanksgiving recipes and at least one of yours. One of our listeners sent me a really great recipe for sausage and mushroom dressing.
Yum. That sounds really good.
I know. So Patty's got her favorites. I've got mine. We'll be sharing those. And then next hour, our compass word is ranch. We're going to tell you about the history of ranch dressing. We got started here in California. It's a fascinating history. And so we're going to tell you about that. And then also, we're kicking off the 2012-2013 ski season up in the Sierra right now, which is really cool. And we will do a little wine pairing with a Central Coast
sounds really fun.
vineyard. Hey, this hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio brought to you by the Harvest Festival in San Jose. Good morning, everyone in the South Bay. November 23rd through the 25th. That's this coming Friday through Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. This is the largest indoor arts and crafts show on the West Coast, featuring, get this, 24,000 handmade gifts.
Wow.
Original art, photography, jewelry, clothing, pottery, home decor, even food items.
That's really cool.
Fits well with our show.
For those people who are challenged at gift giving time,
here you go.
One of them.
Well, you're supporting local artists for one thing, and then a portion of the profits go to the Humane Society Silicon Valley.
It's a good cause.
Bring a canned good, and you get $2 off admission for helping Second Harvest Food Bank.
It's awesome.
This is like win, 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 win.
Right.
Now,
great deal.
Pardon me, isn't this better than being shoved around in a crowded Walmart at 3 in the morning? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Let me think about that one for a minute.
This year marks the 40th anniversary tour of the Harvest Festivals, which began in San Francisco as a place where independent artists could sell their specialties. Get more information at, it's really easy, harvestfestival.com. All right, it is time right now to turn things over to Patty Pyburn. She's got the latest news, and it's an interesting news week food-wise. Patty, take it away.
It sure is, and we have the latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk on this Sunday morning. Shoppers are on a buying binge. We're not talking about early Christmas shopping either. It is Twinkies, Ding Dongs, and Ho-Hos.
You don't say.
No. Hostess Brands began winding down operations on Friday, sending nostalgic customers running to their nearest supermarket, and I know some of them personally. Several major newspapers from Los Angeles to Baltimore are reporting empty store shelves where the baked snacked goods were once displayed. Business insiders are speculating the more famous brand names under the Hostess umbrella will be picked up by other companies. And judging by the customer response, that would not be a bad move. Hostess Brands' corporate headquarters are in Texas and announced Friday a motion is now filed with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court to sell off all assets, including the iconic brands and facilities. Lots of jobs on the line, too, with this move. But the reaction from people, even people I know, what? I can't ever get it. Like, they don't normally eat Twinkies, but...
Wait, here's something I haven't bought in 10 years, but now I can't have it, so I'm rushing out to get it.
With plans of I'll freeze them, and maybe in 10 years I could sell them for a lot of money on eBay.
It's insane. I know. No, I know. I have a little history of the Twinkie if we can get around to it later in the show, but we don't have enough time.
We don't have time right now, so I'll move on. All right, speaking of snack food... The company behind Cracker Jack wants the newest surprise in the box to be a jolt of caffeine. You don't say. Industry magazine Advertising Age says the new line would be called Cracker Jacked.
Yeah, our website is exploding with visitors right now checking. We had
People
more than
interested
1,000 before the show even started this morning looking
They
at
want to
that
know
article.
about Cracker Jacked. Supposedly hitting store shelves soon. 2 new flavors made from coffee, according to the article. The consumer group Center for Science and the Public Interest sent a letter to Frito-Lay and parent company PepsiCo saying it's certain young children will eat Cracker Jacked and possibly consume too much. The group...
Yeah, we've already had problems like that. I mean,
yes,
what are
with other products that contain...
And Pepsi products, I believe, that,
the drinks,
the
energy drinks. Yeah. Well, this group is currently trying to persuade the federal government to tighten regulations on a wide range of caffeinated treats. Frito-Lay says the product is still under development, and the exact amount of caffeine is yet to be determined, but the company expects to have roughly 70 milligrams of the drug in each 2-ounce package. All right, parents, watch out. Randall White, Dungeness crab season officially underway along part of the California coast. The first batch of crustaceans making it to market just the past couple of days. Prices were set between fishermen and distributors back on Thursday at $3 a pound, which means you can expect to pay about $4.50 at the market. Last year, setting those prices didn't happen in time for people to enjoy Dungeness as an annual Thanksgiving treat. And that is a tradition for a lot of people.
For a lot of people. I've only done it 1 year, so I can't really call it a tradition. but it was fun the year I did it. And I thought I can see why this would become, if you lived, in an area where Dungeness is available.
This year's harvest is expected to be lower than last, but at least there's some harvest in time for the holiday. Organics may be the next big thing for the Queen of Talk, Oprah Winfrey. According to filings with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the highly successful businesswoman is working to lock down the names Oprah Organics, Oprah's Farm, and Oprah's Harvest. The official word from the Oprah camp is that she will use some of her vast land holdings in Hawaii to locally distribute the products. Others, though, speculate it's just the beginning, and we could see Oprah Organics here on the mainland.
Pretty cool.
All right. Do we have time to speed through California's high rail?
We do.
All right. High-speed rail cleared a key court ruling on Friday aiming at blocking any further development of the 65-mile stretch from Fresno and Merced while lawsuits are being decided. A judge ruled the plan can move forward during this time, including construction contracts, design, and land acquisition. This is according to the AP. Opponents, mainly farmers, say the plan's environmental impact report is flawed. The judge ruled, though, that project managers acted in good faith when trying to comply with states' environmental laws. So people on both sides of this high-speed rail, for and against. It's a pretty hot topic.
It's contentious in the Central Valley.
All right, Randall, the weather. The rain should be ending today.
Yay.
We'll be expecting to see more sunshine across most of California. Temperatures today in the 60s from the Central Coast to Southern California communities where places inland will be hitting into the low 70s Monday, tomorrow.
Sunshine on Christmas Day, which is great for all the people that have to
Thanksgiving.
travel that day. Yeah, did I say Christmas?
Yes.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Thanksgiving Day. Thank you.
Yes.
Can you imagine if we could prognosticate
Your
that far
30-day
out?
forecast.
Stick around, everyone. We have tips for staying thin during the holidays up next.
I'm so excited because I'm going on an adventure this weekend, one that's been 40 years in the making. And on this outing, I'm going to find something amazing around every corner, from the whimsical to the practical, and all very original, because my adventure is at the Harvest Festival Original Arts and Crafts Show, and this is their 40th anniversary tour. With over 24,000 American handmade arts and crafts, it's an amazing shopping experience. You can even meet the artisans who created these treasures. Plus, there are specialty food booths, jewelry, blown glass, original art, photography, and much more available for purchase. And you can also take in the wonderful, continuous live entertainment. So be adventurous and find something amazing around every corner at the Harvest Festival.
It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
Across the nation, people are stepping up for their mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, sisters, and brothers. They're leading the way and walking to end Alzheimer's, the sixth leading cause of death in the nation. Together, we can reclaim the future. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Start a team. Join a team. Go to alz.org.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Is Megan there?
Sure, follow me. The kids are in the kitchen making sandwiches.
Hey, Julie. Hi, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Yeah?
You're a total freak. God, you're ugly. And dumb. Oh, and your makeup makes you look like a tramp. Tommy Morris told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. The whole school knows. He said your breath smelled like garbage. And that dress is totally hideous. You look like a big fat clown. Disgusting. Oh, and by the way, nice zit.
If you wouldn't say it in person, why say it online? Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Good morning, everyone. 8:19 now the time here on this Sunday morning. Great to have you with us. I just got I don't know if you heard my little phone go
I heard
ding,
ding.
I got a text message from Verizon letting me know that I've used 75% of my anytime minutes. So
Good to know.
good to know, yes. Great to have you with us, everyone. I'm Randall White, Patty Pyburn, my sidekick here.
Good morning.
Yeah, having a good day so far. It's sort of like a take your child to work day today.
There's
here.
a lot of energy in this room, I was thinking, as we were being hushed coming out of the commercial break.
By Anthony, our audio guy. Hush, we're coming out. Right. And it wasn't for the children.
No, he was
says.
Hushing the big people.
Yeah.
The grown-ups.
Jack Adama is with us, and is Dresden Smith. Dresden always helps us out by tweeting and Facebooking.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say it?
I think
Facebooking?
you can be Facebooking now. Tweeting, Facebooking.
Right.
Mhm.
It's now a verb. We've made it one, so it's official. But yeah, thanks to the kids who are here and everyone else, of course. And for you, the listener, great to have you with us because this is our health and fitness segment. And this morning, we're talking about your waistline, whether you want to or not.
To?
Right. Keeping it within bounds during the holiday season, or at least not letting it go any wider, right?
No more expansion.
No. Dietitian Leslie Bonsi, with the California Dried Plum Board joins us right now with some information. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning to you both. How are you?
Good, thank you. And this is a challenging time of year, that's for sure, right?
Well, it is, and the goal is not to be waddling just like the turkey on the plate.
I've done that too
Or
many
gobbling just like the turkey
right.
either.
See, and this is the problem, though. People don't gobble, they're shoveling. And then
Right.
they're in, it's just like inhale without even chewing, and that's why, everybody is leaving the table a lot wider than they were.
So you've seen us at parties before.
Oh, I've seen everybody. I work with football players. It's not a pretty sight.
That's
Oh,
right.
gosh.
That's right. You do. So what's the trick? I know that I've heard in the past if you can stick to say like the celery sticks and the cut up peppers and stuff and dip it in hummus or something. But do you have some variation on those?
I do, and quite frankly, nobody does that anyway. So, it sounds like a good idea, but it's not happening.
In theory, it sounds great.
I think that the most important thing is being choosy. And I say that because a lot of times at the holidays, we have dishes around that we don't have at other points during the year. So if you could eat a roll every day, then maybe you opt to have the stuffing instead. Second is sit and savor and literally chew, and that means utensils, so that you take your time to eat because, people are just like wolfing the food down without tasting. And I kind of like the idea, instead of leftovers, how about enjoy again? Oh, I have 2 meals to look forward to instead of a trough on my plate right now.
Right.
That is really smart.
And then I think also this idea of breaking between courses. I mean, we happen to do that at Thanksgiving is everybody eats, and then really do you have room for the pumpkin pie when it's ready to shoot out of your nostrils?
No.
So you take a little break, and then you come back, and you eat, and you enjoy it. And there's no reason why, we have to have a speed eating on any holiday time. Take the time. And I also like the idea of throwing in some curveballs. And one of the things that works really well is, and we do this, I put a little bit of dried plum into the salad. I've actually done roasted vegetables with it. I'll put a little bit into the stuffing. It adds a little bit of that sweet taste, and you get that, that's kind of nice. So if you throw in something with a little excitement, it just to change it up a little bit, and that puts a little color into the plate as well, so we're not just going in hues of tan.
Right. Well, and it is Thanksgiving, so you get a lot of that with the turkey and the gravy and the stuffing. Now, Leslie, I have a question for you. Are there foods that you would say, if you're looking at this smorgasbord, you would go one direction over another because they have hidden calories? I feel like a lot of the food I make has hidden calories. It's got like a cup of butter and everything.
Well, I mean, for instance, a lot of people when they do their stuffing, and they're either you're doing it with the drippings, or you've got to put a lot of fat into it, and because you want to moisten it. So could you moisten it with something else? And you could is even a little bit of a fruit juice, or sometimes even a little bit of a broth to provide some flavor. It's an easy way to cut the calories. How about those mashed potatoes? So instead of maybe whipping it, with the pound of butter, if you use a Greek yogurt, it provides the creaminess, and you can get away with a little bit less fat added to it. And even in a pumpkin pie, and I make them every year, I don't usually use a pastry crust. What I'll do is either do like almond on the bottom or even like ginger snaps, and instead of using the cream, evaporated skim milk. I mean, those are simple savings, and nobody's sitting at the table going, yuck, what was that?
Yeah, they don't even know.
No, that's true.
And that's funny because Patty's going to share, I think, her mashed potato recipe later in the show, and I can guarantee you it doesn't have Greek yogurt
But
in it.
I like the idea of yogurt. I usually put sour cream, but yogurt is a good substitute for the sour cream.
Yeah. So, Leslie...
And especially the Greek, because it's thicker, or even like in a pumpkin bisque, when people are doing those types of things, you put it in there and you get this fabulous creamy taste, and it's actually good for the waistline as well.
That does sound good.
Leslie, you are a registered dietitian, and you do work closely with the California Dried Plum Board. You mentioned putting some dried plums in a couple of dishes a moment ago. Some people hear dried plums and they're like, what is a dried plum? A lot of people know that as a prune, right? But prunes...
Right.
Prunes
it's a makeover. It's a name over. And, I mean, and truly they are. dried plums, and I think it sounds a little sexier to be eating them that way, but it's exactly the same thing. And they've really come out of the box, so to speak, into lots of different ways that people are using them. I will tell you, we have them on training tables for all the teams that I work with, and so far so good. They're actually eating them, so this is good.
If you've ever had canola oil, it used to be known as rapeseed oil, and you can see why that is a distasteful name.
A name makeover.
Had a name makeover and became one of America's most popular oils. So now I want to talk a bit about the nutrition. First of all, before we get to the nutrition aspect, most of the dried plums in the United States are made right here in California, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then let's talk a little bit about the nutrition. They're rich in a lot of important things.
They are. So if you have a serving is 4 to 5, which is a relatively small amount, so you're going to get 3 grams of fiber. It actually is a very significant source of potassium at about 300 milligrams, and that would be comparable to maybe an orange juice or a baked potato. But you can't eat a potato raw, so you have to cook it. So the plums are a little bit easier, and you also get some magnesium in them, and a calorie cost is 100. That's it. And the other cool thing about them is that there is research out of California looking at the fact that the plums have a role to play in satiety. So you feel fuller for longer. So for 100 calories, feeling fuller for longer makes a lot more sense than those little 100-calorie snack packs that you look in the bag and say, I think there's something in there, but I can't find it.
That's so funny. I think when I think prunes, which now we're calling them dried plums, I just think about my grandparents, and it was part of their morning routine. But you know what? I had a couple of very healthy grandparents, so maybe they were on to something.
And I mean, a lot of times people use dried plums for digestive health, which is true. However, some emerging research on bone health, and that could be one of the other reasons that your grandparents are healthy. Actually, there are substances in the dried plums that support healthy bones. So that's two positives about it.
I'll tell you what, this is a little bit embarrassing, but I'll share it anyway. I have been a prune fan my entire life, and when I was a kid, I made my mom buy the Gerber prunes
baby
food up until I was in high school, and I would eat it as like a pudding snack. It tasted like pudding to me, and so
that's hilarious,
isn't that? And so I was eating. I know Anthony, our audio guy, goes, "That's disgusting," but it's not. Try it. If you know what, if they snuck it onto your plate,
I think he still eats it now.
If they snuck it onto your plate at a fancy restaurant as like a sauce that you dipped like a wonton in or something like that, you'd be like, "This plum sauce is amazing." Oh, really? It's Gerber prune food, right? So.
But there you go. Is pureeing them, or even the little bits that they are, or eating them as they are. It's incredibly versatile, and the fact of the matter is you enjoy them. So who's going to argue that point? That's a good thing.
Thank you, Leslie, and
You're welcome.
lots of information and recipes and that sort of thing at CaliforniaDriedPlums.org. As always, we have the links at EatDrinkExplore.com right there in the radio program summary. Leslie Bonci with the California Dried Plum Board. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Hey, everybody, have a good holiday.
You too. All right, stick around, everyone, because coming up this next segment here, we're talking Meatless Mondays.
Okay.
Good thing they didn't choose a Thursday, because how would that work with Thanksgiving? But
that would be tough.
Tofurkey. Okay, we're talking Meatless Mondays. That's tomorrow, so we'll help you plan your diet and find out about this growing trend when we come back. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
I'm so excited because I'm going on an adventure this weekend, one that's been 40 years in the making. And on this outing, I'm going to find something amazing around every corner, from the whimsical to the practical, and all very original, because my adventure is at the Harvest Festival Original Arts and Crafts Show, and this is their 40th anniversary tour. With over 24,000 American handmade arts and crafts, it's an amazing shopping experience. You can even meet the artisans who created these treasures. Plus, there are specialty food booths, jewelry, blown glass, original art, photography, and much more available for purchase. And you can also take in the wonderful, continuous live entertainment. So be adventurous and find something amazing around every corner at the Harvest Festival.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.npca.org.
What if it wasn't always about getting ahead? What if you didn't care about being on the fast track? What if your career goals were to change? Instead of flying off to the big interview, what if you flew somewhere else altogether? To embark on a different track, to volunteer in ways you never dreamed of, in places you never imagined yourself being. Like a tiny island in the Pacific, barely visible on a map, but where needs are easy to see. Or a village on the African continent, where just a little training in HIV awareness can change the fate of thousands. What if you decided to share your skills with others and help someone else get ahead? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far will you go? To find out more, call 800-424-8580 or visit peacecorps.gov.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat Drink Explore Media, your lifestyle information source. Sunday morning, 8:33 the time right now. Hopefully your day is off to a great start. A big hello to our KSCO AM 1080 listeners in the South Bay, Santa Cruz, Monterey counties. Let's not forget San Benito. That's where they make San Benito County, Hollister areas, where they make all those wonderful apricots, dried apricots.
Yum.
Fresh from the flavor zone is what they say on the package. And I've been chopping up the dried apricots and mixing them in with my oatmeal in the morning.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Because they're dried, but then when you cook
they kind of soften and they add a little sweetness.
And I have cut back on putting honey in, and because the dried apricots
and they're good for you.
Do you say apricot or apricot?
I think I say apricot, but now that you've asked me, I'm not sure.
I just got completely off track. My name's Randall White. Patty Pyburn joining me.
Good morning.
Great to have you here as always, Patty. Thank you so much. And by the way, we will be here next Sunday. It's part of the Thanksgiving weekend, but Patty has a day off.
Oh, that's right, I do. I'm going to miss you guys.
I know. We're talking peanut butter next week, by the way.
Maybe Dresden and I will have to come in.
The history of peanut butter. It's really fascinating. And this woman that I follow online on Twitter, she's... why can't I think of her name right now? Anyway, she's just an amazing food woman. And she recommended this book, and I looked at it, and I thought, you know what, that's a great book. So I contacted the author, and he's all excited to be on. And so we will have him on live next week.
Very cool.
But we have you right now, everyone, here. And I didn't say hi to the Crush 92.5 listeners in San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. I apologize for that. So I don't know if you caught this in the news, but the LA City Council last week, I think it was, decided unanimously to recommend that citizens of Los Angeles cut out meat on Mondays.
Meatless Monday.
It's a program that's been around a while, and it's for people that just can't commit to being vegetarians or vegans, but maybe one day a week, right?
And that there's benefit to that.
Yeah. And it was sort of fringe in the beginning. But now you have the nation's second largest city telling residents, this is what we want you to do. We want you to cut out meat. I mean, I think it's a huge deal. So I thought I want to check in
Let's
with
hear
the
more about this.
Meatless Monday people and ask them what's behind this really rapidly growing trend. So we are joined right now by Cherry Dumal. She is with Meatless Mondays. And good morning to you, Cherry.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, we're doing very well. Thank you. And I you can ask Patty, I go through spurts where I become vegetarian. Well, this year I did an entire month of being vegetarian. It was January. And I enjoyed it. I gained weight, though.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I added a lot of nuts and I added a ton of dairy to my diet.
Yeah.
And that sort of threw my scale off. But it's not as difficult as you might think. The problem is a lot of restaurants, their vegetarian dishes are fried on top of it. Which was kind of a pain. But anyway, back to the topic at hand, Cherry. Meatless Mondays, you guys must have been thrilled when LA moved forward with this.
Oh, definitely. We were so excited to hear about it, and because it really shows that the movement is growing, and Los Angeles, joining in will certainly impact the movement.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the largest municipality that has gotten behind the effort.
Yes, so far. We do have other, internationally, 24 countries that are doing Meatless Monday.
Wow.
And what's the thinking behind it? What do people gain by maybe not becoming completely vegetarian, but just doing it once a week? What's the advantage there?
Well, I think it's good for your health. The fact that you will be able to enjoy some health benefits like limiting your cancer risk or reducing heart disease and fighting diabetes, and of course, curbing obesity. But I think part of it is really just it's so easy to do. One day a week, cut out meat from your diet, and we're very moderate. We believe in balance and we believe in freedom. It's a choice, and it's an excellent choice because again, it's a simple ask, and then you also get to enjoy the bountiful fruits and vegetables that we have. And the other days of the week, you could continue eating the meat that you like or the poultry that you like, and with of course continuing to eat vegetables for a balanced diet.
Cherry, I imagine it sort of forces you to diversify. If you find yourself kind of eating the same thing every day.
Yeah, you have to kind of start branching out and being a little maybe more adventurous.
And that's healthful in itself.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think part of it is, I know your show, likes to talk about the variety of foods, and, your show is into travel, and you talk about the different, cuisines of the world. And I think this is a way to get to know the different, non-meat dishes from around the globe, and being able to do your own twist in it, and introducing yourself and your family to a wide variety of vegetable dishes.
How does Meatless Mondays facilitate in helping people make this transition?
Well, we offer our website every Monday. You can come to our website, meatlessmonday.com, and get recipes that are contributed to us by bloggers who follow us, and also for families and communities and restaurants who want to start a Meatless Monday movement. We have free toolkits on our website. Everything that we do is, for public health. You can download the materials, posters, toolkits. You can even tweak it, to your own, for your own, so that if you want to put your logo on it, that's fine. Our goal, really, the Monday Campaigns, which is the nonprofit organization behind Meatless Monday and other Monday initiatives, is to help prevent chronic diseases, and it's all for health, to make sure that you are able to follow something easy to do on a weekly basis, and be on a health track.
Now, Cherry, is this at all an environmental thing, or is this really just geared towards being more healthful?
Our the movement that we started at the Monday campaigns, the first focus is on health. We do know that there are environmental benefits, and I think that Meatless Monday is helping reduce carbon footprint and minimizing water usage, and also, studies show that it helps reduce fossil fuel dependence. So I think that is also basically what we're saying is Meatless Monday. It's for one day a week, cut out meat for your health and for the health of our planet.
Yeah, when you think about it, if everyone did it worldwide, you're looking at 4 billion people not eating meat on one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of meat not being eaten on one day. So it would have an impact.
It would,
even
definitely.
just one day a week, right?
It would have a big
and
impact.
it's so easy. And the reason for Monday is Monday, as research shows, Johns Hopkins, which is one of our, we're associated with it, and in fact, Johns Hopkins was the one that helped Meatless Monday become the movement that it is.
I didn't know that. So you partner with John Hopkins.
Yes, our founder Sid Lerner was talking to them in 2003, and you remember that time. I think the main issue was saturated fat and cholesterol.
Yeah.
So when they were talking, they said, if we could just get people to cut down on their meat, one day a week, or 15% from their diet, then people will be healthier. And our Sid Lerner, our founder, using his quick math, said, that means one day a week. So what he did is he brought back the Meatless Monday. He revived the concept of Meatless Monday, which actually was introduced during World War I and World War II days for rationing, and he brought that back and developed the movement of Meatless Monday, one day a week, cut out meat from your diet.
And it's just convenience that it alliterates on Monday, Meatless Monday, with the two M's. But is Monday the most convenient day for most people to go meatless?
I think the reason for that is that, again, because Monday is a day when people are mostly receptive to health messages. Research shows, again, our research as well as by Johns Hopkins showed that on a Monday, people are more open to dieting, exercising, calling the doctor. It's, after a weekend of perhaps indulging and
we don't know what that's like. We have no idea. Right.
Hey, Monday, it's here. It's time for a fresh start. I know that there is such a thing as Monday blues, but really studies show that people are really actually looking at the day for a recharge, for being able to start the week right. And the good thing about Monday, if you start Meatless Monday, it's likely that you might be motivated to continue with some adding fruits and vegetables to your diet.
That's
and
true.
Again, if you start dieting and exercising on a Monday, again, it could help carry on throughout the week. And also, don't forget, there are 52 Mondays, so it's it's very forgiving. If you don't do it on this Monday, there are other.
There's another one coming, right? Cherry, we are that way. We do have that. All you have to do is think about January 1st.
Right.
Everyone wants that new start.
Start.
Or I'll start dieting at the first of the month.
Yes.
So it makes sense that.
And towards the end of the week, you're feeling like, it's been a long week. It's Friday.
I deserve a treat.
I'm just going to cut loose, and then I'll be better next week.
Better, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. In fact,
Cherry's...
it's interesting you said January because we call Monday the January of the week.
Oh, yeah. Well, perfect. Yes. Hey, Cherry, since I have you on the line, can I ask a favor from you?
Sure.
We have a great quinoa veggie dish that we have on the site right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sharing the recipe in just a little bit. Since you have power there at Meatless Monday, will you make it one of your featured dishes?
Of course. And in fact, we're also very active on social media. We have 37,000 friends.
I saw that.
Yeah, so
wow.
We're happy to cross-promote. I mean, that's the other thing we offer to people who join us.
I got to cut you off there, Cherry. We loved having you on the show. I'll email you with the recipe, okay?
All
Thank
right,
you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Cherry Dumowell, Meatless Mondays. We're back with recipes in just a moment.
I'm so excited because I'm going on an adventure this weekend, one that's been 40 years in the making. And on this outing, I'm going to find something amazing around every corner, from the whimsical to the practical, and all very original, because my adventure is at the Harvest Festival Original Arts and Crafts Show, and this is their 40th anniversary tour. With over 24,000 American handmade arts and crafts, it's an amazing shopping experience. You can even meet the artisans who created these treasures. Plus, there are specialty food booths, jewelry, blown glass, original art, photography, and much more available for purchase. And you can also take in the wonderful, continuous live entertainment. So be adventurous and find something amazing around every corner at the Harvest Festival.
It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
Across the nation, people are stepping up for their mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, sisters, and brothers. They're leading the way and walking to end Alzheimer's, the 6th leading cause of death in the nation. Together, we can reclaim the future. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Start a team. Join a team. Go to alz.org.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your lifestyle information source.
You've waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
Good Sunday morning, everyone. Sunday Fun Day. Our travel segment today is Travel to the Kitchen.
Yes.
I decided, being the Sunday right before Thanksgiving, that we should utilize this segment for good recipes. And Patty is an awesome cook, so I knew that you would all benefit from hearing a little bit of wisdom from Patty. I do okay in the kitchen myself, and so I have a few things to share.
You aren't bad.
And one of our listeners, Joe Seals, he is the director of culinary arts for Lucia Mara Unified School District on the Central Coast in the Arroyo Grande region of California, and has shared some really cool recipes with us that we will make available to you online. One is his easy sausage and mushroom dressing.
Sounds really good.
And I just got this from him overnight, and so I haven't had a chance to look it over yet. But what we'll do is we will, with his permission, he sent it to me in a Word document. I will translate that to a web page.
So you can post it.
And post it. And so
it sounds really delicious.
Doesn't it? So if I had better knowledge of it, I would tell you step by step what to do, but I don't. But he's written it out. I mean, he's a culinary director.
He knows what he's talking about.
And his number one tip that he gave us, I've never met Joe. I don't think I have. Joe, if you're listening, I apologize if I have met you. But he said that he has a key recipe for the holidays. And here's what it is: turkey stock.
Oh.
And that's so I might
the secret ingredient.
Yes. And so at any rate, I appreciate Joe sending that in. Now, Patty, let's get to Anthony's mashed potatoes, which happens to mirror your recipe.
Yeah, it's almost the same recipe. I don't roast my garlic, but now that he said he roasts his garlic before he puts it in the mashed potatoes, I might adopt that.
It brings out like a sweetness in them.
Yes, it does. The caramelization of the garlic. So what I do is I boil. Usually I use a yellow potato because I just like the color and the richness.
Like the Yukon Gold?
Yes, and so I'll cut them up, boil them, standard what you do for mashed potatoes. I add a bunch of garlic cloves right into the pan while I'm boiling. And when I, drain the potatoes, that garlic just gets mashed in with the potatoes. So that's...
How do you cook your potatoes? Just boil them?
I boil them. Yep. And then, the standard thing, you drain them, you mash them. My mom was like, just, so strict about this when I was growing up. You mash them when they're hot with nothing. You don't add anything until they're completely mashed because that's how you avoid the lumps.
Oh,
then you introduce, once they're sufficiently mashed and all the lumps are gone, then you don't want to add cold milk to that. You're going to add some butter, or in my case, a lot of butter. a lot of Oprah status butter.
Hey, here's the deal. It's Thanksgiving. You
Go
know
for
what
it.
I mean? So really, I say that if you're doing this 1 or 2 days a year, maybe on Christmas as well, add the butter.
And if you ask my kids, that's the only time I make mashed potatoes, Christmas and Thanksgiving. And then pretty much through the year, we don't have them because honestly, it's not a super healthful food.
Yeah.
So anyways, the butter, then the milk, or what I usually do is a little touch of milk just to give them a creaminess and a lot of sour cream. But this year, I think I'm going to do what our previous guest suggested,
the
Leslie.
Greek yogurt.
Yes, the Faya yogurt sounds that's a good trade-off.
Now, when we make our mashed potatoes at home, we use a pressure cooker, and you always hear...
right. Yes, of course you do.
Because it's boom.
It's fast.
It's fast, and you don't lose all the the water-soluble vitamins don't get leached out into the water, and so you're not pouring that all down the drain. And then, and it keeps them nice and moist in the pressure cooker. Super fast. And then we do use a sour cream also, and I like pepper jack cheese.
Oh, that does sound really good.
I put pepper jack cheese,
cheesy potatoes
in it.
Oh,
and you just throw the garlic cloves right into the pressure cooker with the
and they just become part of the potatoes.
They just become part of the potatoes as you mash it, and so that's nice and delicious. Now, I think it needs a little spike of savory, and so during the time that we mash, unlike your mom, but I like your thought there. But during the time that we mash, we use a chicken stock.
Okay.
And then that gives it the sodium and the savory aspect that really just brings out the flavor. And I've never had anyone poo-poo my my mashed potatoes.
Sounds yummy.
Doesn't it? I know. Okay, now, Patty, let's get on to your... what is it that you're sharing next?
Okay, mine.
Oh, the Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. I have family coming from Arizona, and I have nieces and nephews, and they're young. And my sister has already texted me several times to confirm that I am in fact making Brussels sprouts because that was the one thing I couldn't. That they were gone. I did not have no leftovers. Everyone just. The first year I made them, gobbled them up.
These were like the number one I hate ... foods just like 10, 20 years ago. And now they are the it food. Isn't that funny? Is it because they're selling them on the stock now and they just look cool?
They are a little more intriguing. I know Trader Joe's is one of those places selling them on the stock. Costco has a great price on a bag that are already cut. You just kind of clean them up a little bit. What I do is cut them in half. Clean them up, Then I stir together a little olive oil and crushed garlic so that you get that, of course, and a little sprinkle of salt in there.
That's like the basis for so many things.
It's the standard ingredient in my kitchen. Toss the Brussels sprouts in that olive oil and garlic concoction.
And we're talking like hot, like they sizzle when you drop them in?
Well, so you toss them around in that to get them coated.
Okay.
Then hot pan, pretty hot, medium to medium high. You got to watch that heat in a nonstick pan. Put them in there, and I always kind of keep turning them to put them face down so that they get browned. You want not blackened because that's easy to do, but really browned, really, really browned, caramelizing them. And then once they're all soft and browned, into a bowl, stick of butter.
Wait, here comes the butter again.
Stick of butter because I'm making a giant bowl for a huge family.
Right.
So kind of, you can do that proportionally. And then the secret ingredient. A bunch, for what I'm doing, it would a big bowl of Brussels sprouts, a cup of shredded Parmesan. They're kind of cooled a little bit because you don't want to really melt the Parmesan. You just want to coat the Brussels sprouts in that Parmesan. Big hit at my family's
The Parmesan would spike it with that nice, nutty, salty flavor, which I would imagine clearly pairs well with the Brussels sprout flavor.
I'm telling you, they're a big hit with small children, if you can believe that.
That is crazy. When I first had Brussels sprouts when I was a kid, I nicknamed them tiny bites of bad breath.
Oh,
that's what they tasted
little
like
cabbages.
to me. Little cabbages. And I was just like, oh, why would anyone ever eat these? Then I had them roasted for the.
Oh, that's also good.
And it changed my opinion on Brussels sprouts in a heartbeat. And,
my mom just boiled them and gave them to us as little cabbages, and I'm sorry, Mom. Ew.
No, I know. But there's so many delicious ways. And I think that whole dawning of the roasting and bringing out the flavors that way are like
that
the way
caramelization really does something to change the flavor.
Because that's what you're doing in the pan with your
or
recipe.
the roasting, either way.
Yeah. And so, okay, so for one final dish, we have the quinoa dish available online. And so I'll send people online for that.
Oh, we're running out of time.
Wow, I know. I just heard the music. Oh, I wanted to share my recipe for mulled wine.
And I want to hear that.
I'll just have to put it online because we are out of time for this segment. So I apologize, everyone at home. But we've got a full hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio coming up after the top of the hour here. And we've got some fantastic guests, including wine pairing. So we'll still give you some wine tips for the holidays. All right, everyone. I'm your host, Randall White, joined by the lovely, talented Patty Pyburn. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Everything we've mentioned is available at eatdrinkexplore.com. Check it out today, and we will catch you on the other side of this break. Make it a great Sunday fun day, everyone. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Crush 92.5 listeners on this Sunday morning, 9 o'clock straight up. I'm your host, Randall White. Patty Pyburn joining me. And for those of you watching online right now via eatdrinkexplore.com, you may have seen a tinier version of me sitting in this chair.
Wearing a baseball cap.
That's Jack Adama. He's the son of our producer, Cora Adama, and he was...
Just keeping your seat warm for you.
Exactly. You know, Jack cracks me up because what's the name of the school you go to, Pacheco? He goes to Pacheco School here in San Luis Obispo, and they have that curriculum where they teach in Spanish.
Yes.
And Spanish immersion. And it's amazing. He can speak to my husband, Ricardo, in Spanish.
I heard that. I heard Spanish. I was like, whoa, who's speaking Spanish?
I know. It is the coolest.
Very impressive.
Coolest thing. I just really think that being bilingual in this day and age.
Such an advantage.
Huge advantage in the workplace. And so hats off to Pacheco. They have a long wait list there, don't they, Jack? That wasn't easy to get into that school, right? He got in first grade, but not every kid can get into that. So it would make sense for other schools to pick, I think.
To offer it.
To offer that, exactly. So good morning, everyone. We want to let you know that this hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by the wonderful folks at Eberly Winery. That's up in the Paso Robles wine tasting region, of course. Open daily. They open up their doors 1 hour from right now, so you can start preparing. And then they stay open until 6 o'clock. And the entire time, they're offering complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. I mean, we're talking like one of the granddaddy wineries of the Paso Robles region. Highly, highly respected. And they're complimentary still.
It's nice. Because you don't get that in a lot of places.
You do not get that in Sonoma, Napa, Temecula, Santa Ynez. Yeah, no, you just don't see that really. And so hats off to the Eberly people. They're fantastic. Voted because of all their hospitality by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery, located on 46 East in Paso Robles. You can log on for more information to eberlywinery.com, EBERLE winery.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about Eberly at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, or on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Yes. So thank you, Eberly. They've been with us now for a while. Okay, so Miss Patty Pyburn, it is now fall on the Central Coast.
It is. And it feels like it, too, because there are a couple of weeks there where it didn't feel like what you expect for fall weather.
Right. And
typical for California, but not what you expect.
This is the time of year you want something a little more warm, perhaps, in your kitchen. And so we got cut off at on the last one. I wanted to share my mulled wine recipe.
And it's really good, so you should.
And so I have about 60 seconds to do that, and that's about all it takes. It's so easy. So you get a big pot, and here's where you save money. You don't want to use expensive wine in this because you're
adding all those flavors and different things to it. So
right. It's ridiculous. You're ruining it, really. If it's
expensive wine, you're ruining it.
Exactly. So
if it's not, you're helping it.
You find the biggest, best bulk wine you can find, but still keep it California. All right, that's for sure. And if possible, San Luis Obispo County, Santa Barbara County, Central Coast, and get a big old go for the box. And dump one of those. What does it come? 4 liters in one of those boxes. Dump the whole bag into the pot. Okay, and start warming it. And then you just add, you can buy mulling spices or you can buy the things separately. You throw in some cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, and then you take citrus, which we have all over the place. So
Right.
maybe just go into your backyard and grab a bunch of oranges and wedge those and put that
those
into the
in.
mix. Maybe throw some cherries in there. Cherries are always good, and you just let that like simmer for a little while and then sweeten it a little bit too with some
Like
honey.
agave or something?
Agave would work.
Okay.
Yeah. And let that get to a nice warm state. Give yourself about an hour for this. Serve it in cups. People will love it. We're back in 1 minute. It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Fabulous.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Good morning, everyone. Glad you can join us here on this Sunday, fun day morning. I'm your host, Randall White, as Kira just said there, joined by Patty Pyburn. Good morning, Patty.
Good morning.
And we are coming to you live from California's Central Coast. In fact, this is the place California comes to talk about all things food, beverage, travel, tourism, all those trends.
All that.
Yeah, so you can get the most out of your life and just kick back on a Sunday and sort of think about the fun things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We've got rain coming down behind us
do.
here in San Luis Obispo, and I will tell you that that is the first. We started broadcasting the show in March, and this is the first time it's been raining during the show.
During our show, yeah.
That's
is
the
it.
type of weather we have in California, right? Hey, this is our Compass Hour. It's a fun spin on the typical talk show. What we do is we take one word, we call it the Compass word. This week's word is ranch, and then everything throughout this hour will be tied together with that one word. Okay, so this week we're talking about the history of ranch dressing, which got its start here in California, as so many things do.
Not surprising.
Now it's the number one selling dressing in the nation.
You don't go to a salad bar that doesn't have your choices of a basic Italian and ranch dressing,
And then
right?
everything else that you buy, if you get chicken wings or everything is dipped
in ranch, pizza dipped in ranch flavored chips and crackers.
Yeah.
And
Well, what an interesting start to this dressing, and we'll have that coming up in the next segment. And then wine pairing for the holidays.
Good. Good
this
information.
can be, it's sort of a pressure time sometimes for people.
when
they're
you're
like,
having guests and you have to what am I going to choose?
I
And
don't
it will
wanna
be the
look-
right one.
and I don't want to look too cheap, and I don't want to go broke trying to look like I'm
Right.
not being cheap. And do I use red? Do I use white? And the whole poultry and white fish that doesn't really hold true. So we're going to talk to a wine expert who comes to us from Hearst Ranch Winery.
Okay, good.
And so, and then finally, it is time to kick off the 2012-2013 ski season up in the Sierra Nevada. This is one of my sister Susan's favorite places to take the family to hit the slopes. My sister Sue's sort of she's a timid skier.
Oh, is she? Okay.
I won't say how old she is, but she's my older sister. And she, I'm kind of scared to go down the slopes now. So anyway, she finds this place unintimidating and a good bargain.
A good family
Yeah.
time.
So we are going to speak with one of the only remaining family-run operations on the slopes in the Sierra today. Hey, this hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by the Harvest Festival in San Jose. November 23rd through the 25th. That's this coming Friday through Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. Now, listen up, seriously. This is the largest indoor arts and crafts show on the entire West Coast. 24,000 handmade gifts. original art, photography, jewelry, clothing, pottery, home decor. There's even more that foods.
And you talk about the pressure of choosing the right wine. Sometimes the pressure of choosing the right gift can be a little anxiety ridden.
And you don't want 10 of the same candlesticks, from the same chain store. These are individual, handcrafted. In many cases here in California, there are artists that travel for this sort of show, but
very cool.
Made in the USA, which a lot of people are trying to do. Black Friday's coming up. This is huge shopping day, and people wait in line at midnight at some of these big box stores, get pushed around to get something that was made overseas. It's cheap and flimsy. Don't do that. No. Go to the Harvest Festival in San Jose. You're supporting local artists, and a portion of the profits go to the Humane Society Silicon Valley. Bring a canned good and get $2 off admission, because then you're helping Second Harvest Food Bank.
That's awesome.
It's more than a twofer; it's a threefer.
And you're likely going to find a really cool gift for that person that you just can't figure out what to get them.
Yes. This year marks the 40th anniversary, Patty, of the Harvest Festivals. Began in San Francisco as a place where independent artists could sell their specialties. More information at harvestfestival.com. When I was growing up, my good friend Rich Krupa, his mom Susan Krupa, would make gingerbread houses and bring them to the Harvest Festival. I remember.
Fun.
Yeah. So I have some fond memories when it comes to the Harvest Festival as a kid. Okay, it's time for our Compass Word Trivia. All of our questions will surround the word ranch, and we will start with the wonderful, talented, beautiful Patty Pyburn. Try to throw me off my game here, Patty.
All right, here goes. It's based on the word ranch. Today, ranches exist on every continent except...
Oh, I'm going to say Antarctica.
And I'm going to say you're right. No penguin ranches, no polar bear ranches. I'm not even sure if they're native to that continent or in the Arctic.
That was a good one, though, Patty. I like that. Okay, last century, a California ranch by the name Rancho Rodeo de las Aguas was broken up into parcels and renamed Beverly Hills. A lot easier to say.
Well.
How did the Rodeo Land and Walter Company come up with the name Beverly? A neighborhood in Massachusetts called Beverly Farms, the name of Mr. Walter's daughter, or a popular opera singer at the time, Beverly Sills?
Beverly Sills.
You're going to say Beverly Sills? Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Beverly Sills. Yeah, Beverly Sills wasn't even born. No, she was born in 1933, I believe.
Okay.
Beverly Farms.
So the daughter by Beverly Farms.
Yes, 1906, 1907 is when Beverly Hills was broken up into parcels and named, and Mr. Walter came from Massachusetts.
Okay.
And it's a really swanky area of Massachusetts. It's actually a neighborhood within Beverly, Massachusetts, called Beverly Farms.
So Beverly Hills.
And Beverly Hills got its name that way. So there you go.
Okay.
Now you can impress your friends.
Yes, I can. All right. So, Randall, where is the oldest ranch in the U.S.?
Oh, okay.
So what state?
Which state? The oldest ranch in the U.S., I am going to say Virginia.
I'm going to say you're wrong.
Oh.
Sorry. Deep Hollow in Montauk, New York.
Oh, really?
Established in the mid-1960s, still a working cattle ranch today, at least lays claim to being the oldest ranch, and apparently that might be disputed.
Yeah.
There's the King Ranch in Texas, and also...
King Ranch is huge.
Yes. Also Parker Ranch in Hawaii, one of the largest ranches in the U.S.
I could see that.
150,000 acres on the Big Island.
Nice. And then we have Oprah's
And Oprah's going to
Organics.
join in.
Okay, Christopher Ranch has turned Gilroy into the garlic capital of the world.
Yes.
What did the Christopher family farm in the Santa Clara Valley prior to garlic? Was it pears, walnuts, or prunes?
Walnuts?
And I'm going to say, Patty, prunes. We just had the...
And I thought that's going to be too easy. He's trying to throw me off with the prune thing, the dried plums.
Yeah, you've got Prunedale. You've got Prunedale right there.
Of course. Prunedale, hello.
Right, so, Patty.
Gosh.
So, right, at any rate, yeah. Well, they raised plums that then become prunes.
Dried
exactly.
plums.
So,
Okay.
Okay, kick it down.
So cowboys are often called vaqueros.
Yes. Good.
Caballeros. And charros. How am I doing with that?
Cuchi. Yeah.
I'm trying to roll
not
the
that
R.
kind of charro.
That's the other one.
You better hurry up. We have 45 seconds.
Okay. What are they called in Hawaii on the Big Island on Parker Ranch? What are they called?
Oh, something like kind of kukuaka.
You're so close.
Yeah.
Paniolos.
Oh, paniolos. Oh, I didn't know that.
Of course you knew that, right?
Okay, I'm gonna try to throw this out
Okay.
super fast. The Jack Ranch Cafe on California Highway 46 is a destination for fans of which late Hollywood movie star?
Haha, is that from the movie Sideways?
No. James
Oh,
Dean.
James Dean.
He had his crash right there. A lot of people, yeah.
I'm
All right.
so off my game today.
I'll say. Stick around, everyone. You can see Patty Flail more in about 4 minutes from now. We're talking the history of ranch dressing coming up next.
I'm so excited because I'm going on an adventure this weekend, one that's been 40 years in the making. And on this outing, I'm going to find something amazing around every corner, from the whimsical to the practical, and all very original, because my adventure is at the Harvest Festival Original Arts and Crafts Show, and this is their 40th anniversary tour. With over 24,000 American handmade arts and crafts, it's an amazing shopping experience. You can even meet the artisans who created these treasures. Plus, there are specialty food booths, jewelry, blown glass, original art, photography, and much more available for purchase. And you can also take in the wonderful, continuous live entertainment. So be adventurous and find something amazing around every corner at the Harvest Festival.
It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
I don't recycle. I mean, we can just find another planet for your kids to live on, you know?
Noted non-recycler Tommy Crenshaw talks about the future.
Oh, I can totally see finding another planet that can support life when ours fills up with trash.
Log on to YouGottaBeKidding.org and learn about all the ways you can recycle, unless you're into lame excuses like Tommy's.
Hey, recycling's just not my thing. Starting over on a new planet? Now that's exciting.
Don't be that guy, unless you want people looking at you funny. Log on to YouGottaBeKidding.org.
Across the nation, people are stepping up for their mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, sisters, and brothers. They're leading the way and walking to end Alzheimer's, the sixth leading cause of death in the nation. Together, we can reclaim the future. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Start a team. Join a team. Go to alz.org.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your lifestyle information source. 9:19 the time. Good Sunday morning, everyone. Great to have you joining us. I'm your host, Randall White. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Patty Piper on the right-hand side of me. And hello,
Good morning.
Patty. You're my right-hand gal.
Mm-hmm. I am.
So it is, I already said 9:19, right? It is a beautiful morning if you like drizzle.
If you're at home sitting on the couch, it's a perfect morning.
Right. Okay, so the history of ranch dressing. So we had the word ranch, and I was really trying to mix it up to talk about the different ranch varieties that are out there. And I thought, ranch, I wonder how ranch dressing started. So I started researching, and I'm like, if this was made in California, I'm just going to be floored. And then, as it turns out, it's also our listening area. And so I was like, well, this is really...
Well, that's convenient.
Really cool. Okay, so I tried to check in with a lot of the sources, including family members, former owners of operations and stuff like that. And I could not get a hold of everyone, but this article that I found in the Houston Chronicle, dated February 24th, 1999, really breaks it all down. And I know it's not new information, but nobody I've spoken with this week knows anything about this story.
It's new to me.
I thought it was interesting. And
there's a Hidden Valley Ranch area in near Paso, and I always kind of thought, oh, is that the same Hidden Valley? So I'm glad, because I always wondered.
Yeah, well, you're on the right track, because it literally was called Hidden Valley Ranch. And so for people familiar with the Santa Ynez Valley and Santa Barbara, there are two ways you can get to Santa Barbara coming from the north. You can go Highway 101, which follows the coast, and it's a beautiful drive along the coast there. Or you can go up and over, what is that? Highway what?
154?
154?
Yeah.
154.
Yes.
Over the pass. Over the, what do you call that? The San Marcos Pass.
Yes.
Thank God I have people around me.
Yes.
I can't remember things to save my life. So if you go over San Marcos Pass, when you start to so you're heading south, you start going uphill. You pass this really large bridge. You go over a bridge that is a rather famous bridge, actually. Down below, there is a place there called the Cold Spring Tavern. Okay, so just up the canyon from there was a dude ranch called Hidden Valley Ranch.
And it was a dude ranch. Interesting.
It was a dude ranch.
Okay.
And so celebrities and stuff would come up from Los Angeles and that sort of thing. So the guy who ran this ranch would... He perfected a dressing he had some time in Alaska, and it was basically what do you call it? Buttermilk,
right?
Some herbs and seasonings and that sort of thing mixed with mayonnaise. And all of his guests that would come there really thought it was great. So he ran down the road to the Cold Spring Tavern and had the woman in charge there try it, and she loved it and said, I want to put it on the menu. So they started serving ranch dressing at the Cold Spring Tavern. That was the first place that it was sold. Then there was a little corner store in Santa Barbara that he sold the little packets. Remember the packets that you mix in?
That I still mix in?
And they flew off the shelves. And so this guy and his family could not keep up with the amount of demand that he found for this ranch dressing that they called Hidden Valley Ranch. And so... So eventually, down the road, the Clorox company bought it, which, by the way, they're one of the companies that was trying to get Prop 37 defeated. And so I'm not a big fan of the Clorox company, and I won't buy Hidden Valley Ranch, but the story's interesting. So at any rate, the family that founded this, it's Steve and Gail Henson. They only trademarked Hidden Valley. They didn't trademark ranch.
The ranch dressing.
That's why you see a zillion different
versions of ranch dressing.
Brands of ranch, but only one Hidden Valley.
There is only one Hidden Valley.
The recipe has been greatly altered from the original ranch dressing, according to this article. Clorox really tweaked it, after they bought the rights to it. But there's so many different versions. I think Paul Newman's is a big seller, his ranch, and of course that's distributed through McDonald's. So, it's organic also, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which
Interesting.
There's a number. There's an Annie's, made it in the Berkeley area. Annie's is organic, and that's a delicious one if you get a chance to try that. And that's also organic.
I always thought it would be fun to try to make ranch dressing truly from scratch, but I always go and get the packet out of the pantry and
right. Well, he's got like the list of ingredients here. So I'll share those.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see if I can find it. If I could do it now, but I can't. Sorry.
You can't multitask to that degree.
I can't multitask to that degree, but it's
what
just
if the teenagers in the room could help you?
It's really simple, and it is a pineapple. Okay, let's see here. So the original packets sold for 75 cents. What do they go for now? I can't imagine much more than that, right?
Yeah, I think they are a little bit more than that.
Oh. Clearly, I don't make...
Yeah, they're a little bit more than that, Randall.
I don't make the dressing. Kelly's Corner, that was the name of the Santa Barbara market. It is not there any longer, which is sad. And I did contact the Cold Spring Tavern, but no one ever got back to me, which was a drag because that place still does exist. And
yes.
It is jam-packed on the weekends. I mean, the car line is just... like literally miles long.
Right.
And that's Cold Spring Bridge. That's what the
Cold
bridge
Spring,
is that you go over there on 154. It's such a beautiful part of the country. You can see why his ranch was so popular. Now it's just sort of like a ghost town where his ranch originally was.
It's not operating anymore.
No. But I just thought that the history of ranch dressing, now you can impress your friends and tell them... you're sitting around a dinner table. Hey, did you know that ranch dressing is a California original?
And if you're very adventurous, you can just actually try to create that original recipe with fresh ingredients. I think that would be fun.
You could. And I wish that I could find it here on the list. I'm looking over it, and I just it's not on here. But we can put it on the website with all
it on Eat Drink Explore, and then people can click on it.
Right, with all the other ingredients. I keep seeing the word mayonnaise, and I keep thinking that that's going to give me the laundry list of other things,
No.
but it doesn't. I'm not a ranch dressing fan. And maybe because I've never had the original.
I am. It just takes me back to my youth. My mom put ranch dressing on lots of things right out of the packet, same thing.
Yeah.
And so I always go back to that.
I'm a blue cheese person.
Ooh, I like that too.
I just love blue cheese dressing. And really, it's just ranch. It's kind of ranch with blue cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not that different from ranch dressing. But I spent some time over in Europe, as you did recently, Patty. And everywhere you go, salads are served with oil and vinegar.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Everywhere you go.
A lot of places just mix up their own.
Yeah.
Sometimes right at the table.
And you start to get used to that. And then I would say for about a year or more after I came back from Europe, that's all I pretty much wanted to put on a salad because I felt like the heavy dressings that we put on here.
Kind of hides the flavor of the vegetables sometimes.
Yeah, and when you have the level of vegetables we have available here in California for your salads.
Why not taste them?
Right. Why mask all that? Loveliness.
I have to say I've developed a habit of dipping my pizza in ranch dressing.
What?
I picked it up from my Cal Poly students, and I saw them doing that in the studio at school, and I thought, "What are you doing?" And then I was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. That's really good."
Anthony, our audio guy, just said that's not right.
Don't.
Tabasco. Yeah.
Don't. You put Tabasco, Anthony. Don't diss it till you try it.
I don't eat. I don't like Tabasco. Sorry, Tabasco fans. I'm a Cholula and Cholula and Tapatio.
Tapatio.
Now,
I like Cholula.
Tapatio's made in L.A. Cholula's made in Mexico. I can interchange them. I prefer Cholula, but I like any. Oh, I also like what's the one out of Gilroy? And they serve it here at Big Sky.
God, what's the name of that?
The Pepper Plant. Pepper plant sauces
is good.
are
yes,
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Tabasco. It's too vinegary or something. There's something about it that just doesn't do it for me. Anthony says he's the oldest person in the room. And all these newfangled hot sauces. All right, stick around, everyone, because just after this break, we're talking wine pairing with wine expert the winemaker from Hearst Ranch Winery is in studio, so we can relieve those holiday tensions of finding just the right wine for just the right
Expert
dish.
advice on the way.
Just after the break.
I'm so excited because I'm going on an adventure this weekend, one that's been 40 years in the making. And on this outing, I'm going to find something amazing around every corner, from the whimsical to the practical, and all very original, because my adventure is at the Harvest Festival Original Arts and Crafts Show, and this is their 40th anniversary tour. With over 24,000 American handmade arts and crafts, it's an amazing shopping experience. You can even meet the artisans who created these treasures. Plus, there are specialty food booths, jewelry, blown glass, original art, photography, and much more available for purchase. And you can also take in the wonderful, continuous live entertainment. So be adventurous and find something amazing around every corner at the Harvest Festival.
McGruff here.
The crime dog?
Yep.
I think I'm gonna need your help. I've got an internet bully.
Okay, well, what you do is...
Maybe you could put a virus on her computer. Or a tracking device. Or a bug.
You don't have to do that, all you...
Or maybe we could get an attack dog. You ever see those attack dogs that can, rip a person's arm off? Seriously. Or like a SWAT team. A cyber SWAT team or something. Or like an army. Did you ever see that zombie army movie? We should get a zombie army.
Wait. All you need to do to stop an internet bully is delete their messages and never forward them on.
So, no zombies?
No zombies.
Bummer.
Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
This is Betty White. I know you don't need one more thing to worry about, but listen, high blood pressure can cause kidney damage, blindness, heart attack, stroke, and you can have high blood pressure even if you feel all right. 1 in 7 adults has it, but it's easy to get your blood pressure checked, and you can treat it if it is too high. So don't worry about it, don't ignore it, just see your doctor and check it out.
For your free booklet, visit the Will Rogers Institute at wrinstitute.org and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
Good Sunday Fun Day morning, everyone. 9:33 the time. Great to have you with us wherever you're listening or watching online. We always appreciate it. Patty Pyburn, during the commercial break, found the ranch recipe. So, Patty, let's run down the ingredients there really fast.
Salt, monosodium glutamate, or MSG.
Which I just want to say quickly, it's a food myth that MSG causes all these ailments and such.
Headaches is what I always heard it was associated with.
Yeah, so
not true?
No, research it a little bit, and you'll find out that it really got a black eye,
a bad rap
unnecessarily. It's still not good for you, really, but it really boosts the savor factor by like
it
tenfold.
enhances flavor. Dehydrated garlic, garlic, dehydrated onion, black pepper, dehydrated parsley, and calcium stearate, which I just was looking up really quickly on Wikipedia, and it's some sort of a flow agent used in food production. So
just so that
so it doesn't clump up. And
yeah, exactly. So you could leave that off your homemade recipe for sure.
I like to use that whenever I can.
You don't? I have a bottle of it in my spice rack.
Yes, of course you do.
All right, everyone. So as you know, we join you every week right here on this station from 8 to 10 in the morning. And we like to really mix things up. But one thing that we love to focus on as often as possible is wine. And wine is one of those areas where, I mean, you have these sommeliers who get their a master of sommelier. There's only, like 100, 200 of those in the world. And it's a really difficult process to get that level of wine knowledge and tasting and all that kind of stuff. So it can make you feel
a little intimidating.
Very, intimidating when it comes to wine. And so during the holidays, you have a lot of people that either come over to your house or you're asked to bring a bottle of wine to something. So well, what are you making?
Then you have wine anxiety.
Then you have wine anxiety. How much should I spend? And it's turkey or fish, or what are they serving? And, so I have to bring a bottle of white. Well, that might not be the case. We are turning to a wine expert right now, Jeremy Leffert. He is the winemaker at Hearst Ranch Winery. You can find them online at HearstRanchWinery.com. And welcome to the program. Thank you for being in studio, first of all.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes. So you had to brave the wet roads.
Yeah, all quarter mile to get here.
Oh, good.
Very brave of you.
That is convenient. I'm so glad that you live in downtown SLO. That makes it super easy. So as a winemaker, what sort of questions do you get from people when it comes to pairing? Do they say about the whole white with poultry and fish, red with meats thing?
I think a lot of times, especially now, people are kind of moving away from that old rule of thumb.
Good.
And I think people are being a little more adventurous and trying to just figure it out on their own. And that's kind of my background on how I did it, because I wasn't classically trained in pairing food with wine.
I've always thought that it had more to do with the spice level of the food. So if you've got, Cajun blackened sole or something, it's fish, but the spices are so overwhelming, you're going to need a big wine to go with that.
Right. And, in a case like that, with heavy spicy foods like Cajun dishes and everything, I think wines with high acid and sometimes a little bit of residual sugar really work well.
Yeah.
But then beyond the spice factor, you have, whether it's red meat or white meat, that's going to make you decide, what kind of a tannin wine you want, whether it's a cab or something a little leaner like a Pinot Noir.
Now, it doesn't say these things on the label. Well, I mean, in some cases it does, but how do you
some
know?
of them do.
Right.
Well, so since we have a wine expert here, let's ask him. Everyone's planning. Well, not everyone, but lots of people are planning their big Thanksgiving meal. So, do you have some pointers, some advice for us when we're planning our turkey dinner? What would you do?
Well, here's what I'll do this year. But let me preface it by saying Thanksgiving is always a challenging meal to pair with wines, because there's just a cornucopia of flavors going on.
Yeah.
And you've got your turkey and then all the fixings that go along with it. Sometimes it's hard to find one wine that'll go with all of it.
Right.
And some people may be opposed to having 6 different wines in front of them.
And some are not. Some are
not. So typically I like to have nice spicy Tempranillos or Cabernet Francs for reds with Thanksgiving. And as far as whites, either, Chardonnay or maybe even Riesling.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the Riesling, now, what about pre-dinner, post-dinner with the Riesling? Where would that fit in?
Well, Riesling can actually work throughout the whole meal.
Uh-huh.
And, I always start off when we're in the kitchen with bubbles.
Thank you.
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry, we share that tradition.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not start with champagne, right?
Always.
I feel like champagne or sparkling wine, in California's case, it somehow got put on this pedestal that you only have it for special occasions, but
big glamorous
right. But
occasions.
We've broken that rule every single week here at Eat Drink Explore Radio. We are big bubble fans.
Well, isn't every day a special occasion?
Right. If you wake up, it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
I like right.
And,
I like to.
And that is Randall's approach.
That is that is the way that I go about it. Okay, so the wines at Hearst Ranch. You just mentioned a number of different, the Franc and stuff. What do you specialize in? What would, if somebody
Give us
asked
some
you,
specifics.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens that we make 3 of the 4 that I mentioned.
Well, that works out well.
Yeah. And some of the listeners may know Hearst Ranch Winery is relatively a new project that was started by Steve Hearst and Jim Saunders, both very creative and successful men who had the dream to do this.
Yeah.
And that was 3 years ago, and we have 12 varieties we're making right now. And locally, you know, the buzz with Hearst Ranch is kind of about our Malbec and Tempranillo right now.
Oh, okay.
Those are both estate grown in Paso Robles. And we're on the 2010 Tempranillo right now, which is probably what my family's going to be drinking this Thanksgiving.
Malbec's sort of an up-and-comer, isn't it? I mean, that's sort of the next, Pinot or the next Zinfandel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of young people are starting to explore Malbec, primarily because it's very accessible on the wallet. You know, with South American Malbecs, you can get these great wines for $8-9, which
that's an incentive.
Is very competitive.
Right.
That's an incentive.
And that's what did it for, let's see, what do they call it? What's the wine that is called one thing in Australia and one other thing here?
Oh, the Syrah.
Shiraz and Syrah. That is sort of what gave that its
the
big
price
boost,
point.
right? Was the price point coming out of Australia.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a slightly off topic because I know we're talking about specific wines and what you're going to drink them with. But what's your background in winemaking? How'd you get to the Hearst Ranch?
In a galaxy far, far away. I moved to California in 2004 from Vermont and started working at Trader Joe's in Santa Barbara.
Oh, okay.
And really had no background in wine, and we had these in-store wine tastings, and everyone was swirling it and sipping it and everything. And it was kind of fascinating to me, and I went on a tasting trip to Santa Ynez, and had never really seen a vineyard before, and saw the fruit out there, and was just fascinated by the whole process and, the winery themselves. And I started, spending my savings on viticulture textbooks and was starting to educate myself a little bit. And one day my mom handed me a stack of paperwork, which is, basically saying, Jeremy, go get your master's in viticulture.
Yeah, go do it.
At Cal Poly. And I was amazed. I was like, you can study wine at school?
Go to school for this.
Cool. Right. And at the time, I was only focused in the vineyard, and I wanted to make sure I was making the right decision. So I took a cellar position at One Harvest at another Zinfandel producer in Paso Robles.
I love Zins.
And that's where I met my current boss, Jim Saunders, the owner and partner of Hearst Ranch Winery.
Yeah.
And then the following spring, he brought me in to help work in the vineyard before there was a winery. And one day, I come to work, and there's, an excavator and a D3, bulldozer. And
You're like,
I said, what's going on, Jim? He says, we're building a winery. And I said, cool.
Can I be part?
Yes. He's like, do you want to help? And then the rest was history. We started out with 1,400 cases, 7 wines, and believe it or not, we're up to 15,000 cases and 12 wines.
Well, it's not a name people are unfamiliar with. I mean, Hearst has a little ring in
little
California. Right? Now, Steve Hearst, he's behind the big Hearst Ranch grass-fed beef, right?
Absolutely.
And that has really taken off coast to coast.
Yeah.
And so this is his next project. I haven't tried a Hearst Ranch wine yet, but I plan to.
Well, I have family coming in for Thanksgiving. Where do you think they want to go this weekend?
Wine
Any
tasting?
guesses? Well, Randall, yes.
Oh, they want to go to Hearst Castle. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hello, they're
Right.
tourists.
Patty's been to Hearst Castle enough times that
I've lost track, 19 or 20, I don't know. Every time we have family, can we go to Hearst Castle?
you could give the tours, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, so where are the vineyards located?
Well, we
For the
farm.
grapes.
We have a 60-acre estate, which is in Paso Robles, which is where we farm Petit Verdot, Petit Syrah, Malbec, Tempranillo, and Syrah.
Okay.
And the rest of the grapes we source from some other vineyards that we farm in the Paso Robles area. And the only wine right now that's out of appellation is our Chardonnay, which we source from Monterey County.
And the tasting room is there almost to San Miguel, right?
No, the tasting room, believe it or not, is right across the street from Hearst Castle in
Oh.
Sebastian's General Store, which is
That's what I was thinking.
perhaps the oldest general store in California.
So-
It used to supply miners and fishermen and hunters.
So then, Randall, yes, we will be wine tasting if it's right across from the castle.
Yeah, come on up. It's a really cute historic building.
What a great tie-in like that, because you already have people that are fascinated with the castle. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
And then you see the Hearst name associated with a winery and get to tie all these California things together.
And the beef, and
And the beef.
It's a branding. It's a miracle.
It really
You
is.
know?
It's brilliant. The Hearst family has always been good at that, and so they're carrying it on now. And so price point wise, when people, we have about a minute left here, when people are thinking of having a dinner party of 20 or so, the average person, about how much should they be spending per bottle during the holidays? What's a good price? I know that's a hard one. But
yeah, it really depends. And
like
depends.
Upper teens?
Yeah, I think that's a good starting point. And,
Yeah.
for California wines, you're going to want to be above 20, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah.
But if you're going overseas, like Spanish wines, a lot of great value can be found in Spain for $8, $9, $10.
They're delicious, but we don't recommend that. Just FYI. Okay, Jeremy Lefferts, you're coming back. I mean, not after the break or anything, but in the days to come.
I'd love
You're
to.
coming back.
Jeremy Lefferts, winemaker at Hearst Ranch Winery. Learn more at HearstRanchWinery.com. It's that easy. Stick around, everyone. We're talking ski season right after this. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
I'm so excited because I'm going on an adventure this weekend, one that's been 40 years in the making. And on this outing, I'm going to find something amazing around every corner, from the whimsical to the practical, and all very original, because my adventure is at the Harvest Festival Original Arts and Crafts Show, and this is their 40th anniversary tour. With over 24,000 American handmade arts and crafts, it's an amazing shopping experience. You can even meet the artisans who created these treasures. Plus, there are specialty food booths, jewelry, blown glass, original art, photography, and much more available for purchase. And you can also take in the wonderful, continuous live entertainment. So be adventurous and find something amazing around every corner at the Harvest Festival.
It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
Hi, this is Rick Moranis. Some people are more careful about what they feed their cars than what they feed their bodies. They know that the wrong fuel can hurt a car's performance and maybe ruin the engine. But the wrong food can have the same effect on your health. Too much fat, too many calories, and too little of what's good for you can affect how well you feel and even lead to serious illness. So eat right. It'll help you keep running smooth.
For more information, visit the Will Rogers Institute at wrinstitute.org or call toll-free 877-957-7575 and find us on Facebook and Twitter. Wayne Brady for the Will Rogers Institute.
Hey folks, I've got something that will truly revolutionize your life. It's called exercise. It will get you from here to there, allow you to spend time with your family and meet new people, cut inches from your waistline and improve the quality of your life, even help improve your self-image. Sexy. So when you've got to choose between moving around or lying on the couch, choose exercise. You won't be sorry.
For your free booklet, visit wrinstitute.org or call toll-free 877-957-7575 and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping giving season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your lifestyle information source. $9:49 the time. Good Sunday morning, everyone. Great to have you with us. It's the final segment of the show, which always kind of bums me out a little bit because it feels like we just get going. We'll have to expand at some point to 3 hours. Patty Pyburn joining me. I'm your host, Randall White, and our compass word has been ranch. We talked about the history of ranch dressing. Patty and I had our trivia throwdown with a number of different ranch, and we hit every single one. We each got our 3 questions out.
Yeah.
We had to speed it up at one point. And then we just spoke with the winemaker from Hearst Ranch Winery. He's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward. We will start a Thursday night live show, live from the farmers market, because San Luis Obispo, where we broadcast from, is famous for its Higuera Street Farmers Market on Thursday night. And we're directly above it. And so we can bring up whatever's fresh at the market and then talk to local chefs, winemakers like Jeremy there, and talk about how you would use or pair what's available. I also want to do that with brewmasters because beer pairing is big now.
So cool.
We are hitting that time of year. If you're watching us online, you can see wet streets behind me. And coastally in California, when you have wet streets, that means you have white hills in the Sierra Nevada, right? Ski season really kicks off with Thanksgiving. Sometimes the slopes open a little bit early, but the Thanksgiving weekend is typically sort of how Memorial Day brings in summer. Thanksgiving brings in the whole, what do you call it? Ski season.
Yes, that.
Right. So joining us right now on the line is Lincoln Kaufman. He's with Donner Ski Ranch, and this is a family-run operation, one of the only remaining family-run operations when it comes to skiing in the Sierra Nevada, which I thought made it a great tie-in for us. Hey, Lincoln.
Good morning, Randall.
Yeah, great to have you joining us, and you must be excited to roll out another ski season there at Donner Ski Ranch.
Well, you know, we picked up about 18 inches last night, so we're very excited.
18 inches, is that all? No, just kidding. That's huge. That's 1.5 feet.
That's
wow.
awesome.
What's the on a good year, or say an average year at the ranch? What is the base?
We're looking at up to 48 inches to 96 inches. So
okay, we know that you can get a lot of snow in that region because you're located on the pass that kept the Donner family from making it into the more climate or the more moderate California Central Valley, and they got stuck there at a Donner Lake on the other side. So we know that you can really get some heavy dumpings of snow along that region there, and there's a couple of resorts that sort of bookmark you, right? Bookend you.
That's right. We sit right between Boreal Ridge and Sugar Bowl. And we had over 700 inches 2 years ago, so
whoa,
you can really get slammed up here in the summit.
Now, last year was a tricky one because you started off with some good snow, and then December and January were like, surprise, we're not going to give you anything. That must have been a challenge.
It was a challenge, especially for a little family-owned operation, but it was an anomaly. I think the storm doors opened here, and it bodes well for a great season this year.
Yeah, let's keep our
Wow,
fingers
and right
crossed.
before Thanksgiving. So is this typically a big time for you guys? Do families come up and have their Thanksgiving with you?
We do. A lot of people come up to Tahoe, not necessarily just to ski, but this is a little cream on top of everything else. So if we can get some skiing in now, it'll be great.
Now, we should mention you are located on, so if you take I-80 to Tahoe, which would take you to the north side, as opposed to 50, which takes you to the south side. So if you're going 80, like toward Reno, when you get to the Donner Pass area, there's a back way to go that brings you around the mountains and then down to Donner Lake. What's the name of that highway?
That is old Highway 40. So you would get off at the Soden Springs exit, and we're 3 miles right off the road. We're directly across from the Judah entrance of Sugar Bowl.
Okay, so yeah, just like we were saying, they're all sort of jammed in there. Now, my sister, Sue, she really loves your location. It is where her son has learned to ski. It is where she has relearned to ski as somewhat of a timid skier. How would you characterize a Donner Ski Ranch in terms of, you have your like your K2s at Squaw and like the really
for the people that are really hardcore,
super intense. Where does Donner fall into all that?
Well, we have a much simpler operation, but we have a little bit of terrain for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing is that it's very laid back, very accessible. The prices are low. The food prices are low. And it's just a beautiful little resort to get going on.
I notice
it's not that
Oh, go ahead.
corporate feel to it. It's a very relaxed, simpler type of an operation.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at your photos on your website, and it does seem to be a little more relaxed and lots of happy, smiling faces. Lots of kids, lots of young ones.
And a lot of inner tubing. So I imagine.
I noticed
Did you
that.
notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. So you mix it up there. It's not just skiers.
Well, accessibility is really the deal. We want to get everybody out on the hill, whether they're a skier, and getting young kids involved and the whole family gives them something to do until they're ready to get out there and make some turns.
Right. What about snowboarding? Are you a big snowboard destination?
We actually were one of the first resorts in the nation to offer snowboarding.
I've noticed
And that's
that
only
with the kind of quirky
because
family
we're
ones.
cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and snowboarding. Anyone that could pay for a ticket, we would let them go on the hill. A lot of the corporate resorts were a lot more finicky and snobbish about it.
Well, no, there was a backlash in the beginning. Then they realized, wait a minute, this is a big moneymaker. Let's let them come, right?
Yeah.
But
You
but
gotta go with it.
In the beginning, there was some backlash, and I was living in Boulder, Colorado at the time, and there was a little resort up the hill from Boulder that had they were famous for their night skiing, but it was a really small operation, not part of a big company, and they were big with the snowboarders. And I love that non-corporate atmosphere. Their skiers, the lift operators would have a big sign that would say the word of the day today is, and then you were supposed to tell it to the guy at the top, and I just remember one year it was homeostasis, and I've known that word ever since because of that.
That's funny.
At any rate, we wish you the best for the upcoming ski season. We hope that it truly is one of Tahoe's best, and we appreciate you joining us today, Lincoln.
Well, thank you so much. Great to be on the show, and we hope to see you up here on the slope soon.
Absolutely. Here's to a very safe season for you up there. All right, you have been listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. We want to let you know that all of our segments from the week and previous weeks are available online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Patty and I shared a zillion recipes today on the show, and so not all of those are available online right now.
Yet, but we'll post them.
We'll make them easy for you to find. Don't forget, our smartphone and tablet apps are free. You can watch the show and listen to the show right there in your Apple Store or Google Play. Thank you to my co-host, Patty Pyburn, also the producers, Cora Adama, Anthony Renaro, Ricardo Teodosio, Dresden Smith for doing all of her tweeting, and Jack Adama. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Ciao for now. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend.
You've been listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you missed any of our segments today, look for them online or through our free Apple and Android apps. Catch you back right here next week.